The RE4 Remake is releasing in about 62 days, and Capcom just confirmed a ton of new information themselves. And we even have confirmation talking about the cut content in the remake. We also have more information on the death animations in this game, and they're pretty brutal. We have a lot of information to cover today. Ladies and gentlemen, this is everything that you need to know about
Resident Evil 4.
So as most of you guys know, the Resident Evil 4 remake has gotten leaked more times than you could possibly ever imagine. I mean, take a look at my channel, take a look at some of these channels. We have talked about a lot of RE4 remake leaks. But what's crazy is most of the leaks actually turned out to be true. Things like the remake getting new enemies, Krauser returning, and also Leon's signature roundhouse kick is returning, and it's apparently been confirmed that Wesker is returning. I think we all expected Wesker to come back, but that's not the reason why this news is special. If you take a look at IMDb, and if you take a look at who is voicing Wesker, it is Connor Fogarty? I probably just butchered his name, but this is the same guy who voices Wesker in Dead by Daylight. But if you thought that was crazy, we're not done. Not too long ago, Capcom has confirmed by the producer that the island is returning. So over the course of the majority of the Resident Evil 4 remake leaks, a lot of leakers have come out and said the island is not returning, that Capcom is revamping the island into a lab section. That was pretty disappointing to hear because we've already seen enough labs. We saw a lab in the RE1 remake, we saw a lab in the RE2 remake, we saw a lab in the RE3 remake. At this point, I'm done with labs. I'm tired of seeing them. So this is pretty interesting, but take a look. So Edge magazine did an interview with the developers of the remake, and Dust Golem here actually summarizes exactly what they talked about. So according to Dust Golem in the magazine, they basically talk about how the team split into 3 different parts. One team worked on the village, another in the castle, and another on the island. They came back together and went over each team's work for revisions and to focus on alterations for pacing. Oh, but there's more. The developers claim that there's a lot more to it. The island is returning, but the developers are claiming that they're adding a lot more to this section, so I'm kind of curious what that means. I mean, hey, we only have like 60 days to find out. Speaking of cut content, Capcom has come out and said that the RE4 remake will have no cut content. Only new content. What? Nah, I don't believe it. Am I the only one? Because I don't believe it. I love you, Capcom, but I simply just don't believe it. So Edge magazine did a interview with the producer, and he basically confirmed that the game will not be cutting any of the areas. This seems like they only want to focus on making the experience better rather than fully reimagining the way it plays. And apparently the remake is just as long, if not longer, than the original game. Come on, guys. There's no way this is true. So I was in the middle of editing this video and I decided to check Twitter, and I saw a very interesting tweet by the Sphere Hunter which really catches my attention. So Arclay Mountains has tweeted out that the ESRB rating for the RE4 remake has been confirmed. Again, Leon can be decapitated, blown apart, and even impaled. But Sphere Hunter responded and said, a friend of mine who got to play the press demo told me there's a from behind Chainsaw Man kill where he stabs Leon through the stomach and cuts him in half up the middle. Wow, that sounds gruesome. I feel like the deaths in the remake are gonna be really brutal, and it needs to be that way. Like, this game does not need to be censored. Please make the kills as gory as possible. Resident Evil 4's 18th birthday was like a week ago on January 11th, but for those that don't know, there have actually been rumors of a new Resident Evil showcase happening. This is due to another rumor that a PlayStation State of Play event is happening in February. Now, even though it's not entirely confirmed, I am almost certain that we're getting some sort of dedicated showcase to the remake. I mean, there's no way that we're not. A couple of days ago, the Arab Game Awards actually had a Resident Evil showcase, but they didn't show anything new, so I don't really know the point of it. I mean, anything RE4 Remake I get excited about. My only problem is the marketing with the game. I feel like the marketing for the remake up to this point has been pretty decent, but considering that we're around 60 days from release, you would think that Capcom would really start ramping up the marketing, showing more trailers, more gameplay, more screenshots, more information. Maybe I'm thinking too far ahead. Maybe they're just trying to surprise us. I mean, who knows at this point? Capcom is the king of surprises. I mean, this remake could flop, even though my gut is telling me that it's not gonna flop. I mean, there's already people making videos that are just trashing on the remake and it's not even out yet. We're also probably getting a demo either in February or early March. And for those that are wondering, no, the game is not getting delayed. I also mentioned this on my community tab. On Steam, the game had the release date, but recently it's been changed to say coming soon. This is because Steam just changed their release date policy and Capcom has yet to, you know, update their side of the, you know, release date. So as of right now, the game still says coming soon, but the game is not getting delayed. This is just an error and the game is still on track, which is good because I don't want this game to get delayed. I'm really hoping the RE4 Remake turns out to be a masterpiece, because if not, then I've lost all hope for the future of Resident Evil remakes.